Simons will speed out of backcourt, looking to cut between defenders. He got stood up and racked. Curry, a spin pass on a wraparound maneuver. Up the floor for the jackhammer for Moody.
At least Steph had his highlights, huh? Well, that was a weird game once again from the Warriors, but we won and I'm so happy, man. It was way more fun than the usual games, actually, and I liked what I saw today, mostly. And, of course, we did blow another 22-point lead in, what was it, like 5 minutes or so? It was really fast in the third quarter, and I don't feel like we really played that badly. We started off the quarter really well with Klay hooping, but then Steph was really off and they were starting to hit. Anthony Simons got hot and, you know, Steph was off, like I said, which does not help you at all. And that helped propel the Blazers to a comeback there. Scoot Henderson, I thought, did really well today, being really aggressive and, you know, just being a pain in the ass, really. And that propelled Anthony Simons to a great second half. Jeremy Grant had a really good second half. Shout out to Mani Kamara. Defensively, I don't think we did that badly. They just have, you know, some really good shot makers also. And some of it was, of course, our own turnovers. Steph just being really bad today. He was completely off, which does not help at all. Because when Steph's off, it really is bad. And just like last night against the Nets, where in the third quarter Steph was just horrible, today was pretty much the same. And unfortunately it went along for the fourth quarter where he was really bad. He was aware that he has not made a three-pointer, so, you know, down the stretch I felt like he really he put up some really bad shots. This was a really bad shot. He had a bad turnover, and he also had one other shot. Yes, this one right here was a... Oh no, this was not the bad shot, right? Let me see, actually. I don't think this was a bad shot per se, or was it? Yeah, like, that's not a bad shot for him, so... He had bad shots completely down the stretch. Like, the last 2 minutes of the game were just horrible from him. This was an absolutely insanely bad shot and stuff. So that's the negativeness out the way. But let's talk about the positives, because there is so much more to talk about on the positive side, man. We finally saw Trayce Jackson-Davis get minutes. When we look at the minute distribution he played, pretty much closed out the second quarter after he came in with about, 7-8 minutes left. And he played throughout the fourth quarter, essentially. Thought he should have played the whole fourth quarter, but Kerr elected to go back to Looney for some reason. I don't know why, but that is just that. And Trayce was great. 14 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 1 block. He had, a really great assist down the stretch.
Touch the switch and then take it.
Jackson-Davis throws out on the perimeter. Wiggins.
And was finishing well around the rim. Made 2 free throws in the fourth quarter that were huge. So I loved what I saw from Trayce. Hey, give him those 20 minutes a night, man. Why not? Looney has been just horrible. Bad. That's the negativeness out there. But, we have Trayce and he can play. And he clearly is more comfortable playing more minutes than less. He always came in for shorter spurts. Now Kerr left him out there for essentially 2... How should I call it? 2 9-minute, 8-minute stints, and he balled out. He was great. He played with Steph out there, which was great. Seeing him and Steph being out there, he provided good rim spacing and vertical spacer. He was a great vertical spacer, right? Gave them a good rim runner also. He dunked around the rim easily. Chris Paul could throw it to him. So that worked really well. We also closed the half with a lineup of Steph, Chris Paul, Moody, Kuminga, and Trayce, which I thought was really great. They did really well.
Centering pass to Moses Moody. Wide open, Kuminga.
Then we did not see it again. And I felt like we should see that maybe a lot more, even though Chris Paul once again for some reason played 32 minutes when he was once again not good. But he just has to be out there for the closing minutes. And I don't know why. Well, I do know why. Well, I do think I know why. Because Steph just does not want to play without another ball handler that he trusts. And that clearly is Chris Paul or Podziemski. Right, Podz is in the starting lineups. He plays a lot of minutes. Chris Paul is out there with Steph pretty much all the time also. Like, you see that. Here, it's Podziemski with Steph. Then it's Chris Paul with Steph. once again, you have either Podz or Chris Paul out there with Steph once again, and here once again. Like, there is not a time in the game that Steph does not have these three on. So I feel like that's also a little bit on him. I feel like that's what he wants to do. And I feel like that's just incredibly, just sad to me. I feel like that's on Steph, man. But I get that he does not want to do the ball handling duties and that he wants to play off ball. But I also feel like when we look at these lineups, you know, it says they are doing well. So I guess. I don't feel like they're doing that well, but, you know, they're more of a hit or miss, I guess. But the most used lineup of them has worked, so I guess that's a great sign. This lineup of Steph, Chris Paul, Kuminga, Looney, and Klay has been awesome in their minutes, apparently, but I barely remember these 5 playing together. But has there been any lineup where Steph does not have a secondary ball handler out there, right? Here it's actually Draymond, or a primary ball handler, really, right? Here it's Draymond, here it's Chris Paul, here it's, again, Draymond, here Podziemski, here Draymond, Chris Paul. Right, that's the lineup that he is the primary ball handler. They've been horrible, actually. That's intriguing, right? Here is Podziemski, Chris Paul. Like, you know, when you look at him and Kuminga minutes, for example, they're always out there with another primary ball handler, essentially. And I feel like Steph could really play with these young guys more, and it could work, but he just does not want to handle the ball that much and wants to play off ball, even though he does in the clutch handle the ball a lot. So I'm kind of confused about this whole thing with Steph just wanting to have the secondary ball handler out there when we are just so small. Have we seen a lineup of Wiggins and Kuminga out there? How much have we seen of that? It has been horrible, actually. So I guess that's why we have not seen it that much. I've read that they tried them once together down the stretch and they miscommunicated badly. So I guess that's why they don't trust these two together. But I feel like this is not good enough. Not a good enough sample size. And especially when you have these closing lineups of Steph, Chris Paul, Chris Paul, Wiggins, Klay, and Looney. Like, why is there not a Kuminga out there instead of a Chris Paul? Steph still is handling the ball a lot. I know Chris Paul made a really huge clutch bucket down the stretch, but still, why not? Why is that Looney? Why do not give it to Kuminga? Or even Moody, right? I want to see more of that. Have we seen how much we have seen of these? The most we have seen of that is 6 minutes. Chris Paul, Wiggins, Saric, Kuminga, Moody. And it's been essentially just slow spurts. And they've been bad. But imagine instead of Chris Paul and Saric, there is Steph and Klay. Or Steph and Draymond if he was playing. That's one of the things that just boggles my mind a little bit. So I just wanted to talk about it. But Podz, game-winning charge call.
Got it. 3 seconds. Shaden Sharp to put it up and out. And it's an offensive foul anyway.
Incredible, saved Steph's ass today, just beautiful. He has been just sensational. Kuminga was really good, except for the free throws today. I liked his play. Got a rough whistle once again. Just, it is what it is. And Klay looks back, man. Last 3 games, he's been awesome. He's been pretty much awesome for a lot of, most of the games. And especially after that benching in Phoenix, he's been great. And before that, he has had flashes, so Klay has looked really great, which is just wonderful to see. And Wiggins was really good today. Shout out Wiggins. He played engaged, had 7 rebounds, 25 points. Was sensational off the bench today. Hopefully, we can actually see him and Kuminga play together in some better lineups, but I guess they just don't want that. And, I get that offensively at least, but for those defensive possessions, it just feels weird when down the stretch, on these last possessions, we just have Chris Paul out there for some reason, right? When we look at the foul he had on Anthony Simons, right here, which to me was not a foul when I saw it, but you have Podziemski and Chris Paul out there. I feel like you could have a Trayce Jackson Davis out there, or even a Looney maybe here in this in this instant for rebounding. And I guess this was not that outrageous. There was Wiggins and Kuminga together out there at least, so that's what I've been asking for and wanting. Anyway, that's about it for today. Great win. We have 2 wins in a row now. We play the Celtics on Tuesday. Then there are 2 other winnable games before we play the Nuggets in Denver on Christmas. So hopefully we can, we could string together a 5-game win streak and it would look a whole lot of better. Like, I know we beat the Blazers, but hey, this was a really enjoyable win besides blowing the lead and Steph being rough. Everybody else stepped up. So that was great. And essentially everybody. Not Chris Paul in my opinion, but okay, I just don't want to be, I just want to be as precise as possible. Anyway, that's about it for today. As always, be kind to yourself and to others. Love yourselves as much as possible, and I'll be, and you be. Love.